this is a rivalry for a reason. Demi is very well aware of how MeomaikA plays. He's also very well aware of how he feels about playing against that style.
Yeah, and I feel if Demi can get to that mid to late stage, I feel he has the advantage over MeomaikA here. I feel he just has that better grounding in the late game macro and just how to play defensively properly.
Absolutely.
So I feel if he can just kind of control MeomaikA's aggression, keep himself alive, but not take too much damage, Demi's going to be in the driving seat once you get past that kind of 8-9 minute stage.
Yeah, that's going to be what we're looking out for and seeing if we can, or seeing if we get to that point. But, and once again, we're going to have to see as we do spawn into Romanticide LE. LE, of course, standing for Lovers Enchiladas. Lovers Enchiladas. That's special at some restaurant somewhere. In the bottom right-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Blues player coming out for the land of Vietnam, already going for a pool first. Well, I got excited, but then I realized MeomaikA does this in ZvZ just offensively. I also just revealed who he is. Teamless, currently, MeomaikA.
And in the top left, the ZvZ out of Downfall. He's in the color red tonight on the romantic map. It is Demi.
I imagine he's feeling that love tonight.
He's got this far. One more match to take him to the grand final. And got his biggest hurdle.
That'll have a point advantage. Yeah. And I did say that Mio does like to go pool first defensively in ZvZ, but then I also noticed he had 3 in the gas over there. He is researching metabolic boosts. I'm throwing out everything I thought I knew about Mio.
Yeah, this is the very old 1312 Ling Flood.
The classic, if you will.
Yeah, he's even getting the Overlord here for the Queen finishing, so he's going to be saving his Lings, maybe just showing a couple just to make it look like something else, but I think he's just going to bank up a ton of Lings, maybe?
Yeah, maybe
we're going to see what he's going to do with this Overlord. We're going to see what he does after this Overlord, if he's going to hold down the Ling button again, or if he goes into some drones, but he's making more Lings.
Yeah, 4 of them now coming out. And I'm getting a weird sense of deja vu over here, Sano, so let's see if MeomaikA does anything differently, or if Demi says, you know what, I actually feel a lot more warmed up.
Yeah, no banlings this time, but Demi does see that there's no natural base with the first Overlord there. So this is where things get weird for Demi. He's got to know how many Lings are coming, how many, if there's Banes, which there's not. But he has a lot of Speedlings to start off, and it looks like he gets right in the timing of the first Queen. He's going to try and catch that Queen so he can't block the ramp.
Completely body blocking it off and does take it out. The rest of the Lings starting to go into the main base, and Demi, he's trying to find an angle here.
Yeah, good Baneling nest position there to keep that Queen in the wall, but there's just so many Lings coming across the map from MeomaikA. He might be able to just break him here.
Yeah, the Queen is starting to go down. No other Queen available for transfuse. Decent drone drilling coming out, and it's a really good mineral walk here. A lot of these Lings are getting surrounded by drones, and Demi should just about hold this. I say, but here come the reinforcements.
The reinforcements here from MeomaikA are going to make this even more tough. Demi is almost out of money from all this missed mining time. And Demi, he's running out of steam. Like, Mio is just still charging across the map with more and more Lings.
Yeah, every time he's able to catch, let's say, a couple of Lings out of position here, get a good surround on them, the weaker Demi gets. Now, he does have 2 Banelings coming out here, and 1 good hit. That's all he really needs.
Yep. And now he's got the Banes here for the defense, so this is going to make it a little bit nicer here for Demi. He's going to be possibly able to force Mio out.
He's getting pretty close. And will this be enough of the turn? We know MeomaikA, he has no fear in the face of Banelings, which sometimes works to his detriment, but yeah.
Yeah, you got to keep an eye out. He'll always try and find any opening. And we just saw that. He tried to dive back in when most players you wouldn't expect. He's already got Banelings out. Why would you go back in with Banelings? But Meo, the opportunist.
That's the best way to really describe him. He is, in his in-game, he is always looking for some way to get an opportunity. But that should just about be it. MeomaikA are going to be throwing in the towel and will be instead transitioning here, getting his natural base up.
Yeah, and being safe here, MeomaikA throwing down a defensive spine, just making sure he's not going to get counter-attacked. And there is a little bit of a counter-attack snaking around the right side of the map, but Meo does have Lings coming back home to sit there. Oh, he looks like he might have been wary of those Lings moving out of the map. He's trying to find them. But he misses.
Yeah, but not quickly finding them here.
Lings get into the main again here for MeomaikA, trying to find a little bit of damage where he can.
Yeah, I mean a little bit of lost mine time, couple of drones.
Yeah, Spine Crawl and a couple of three queens actually in the natural here. He's going to lose a couple of drones, but he's sitting pretty here still, MeomaikA. He's got the worker advantage. Still has map control.
And this game is going to be slowing down a little and just really evening out.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where the game goes from here, because I'd say the game's fairly even. MeomaikA does have a good worker count, but the Baneling tech, of course, is quite nice there for Demi.
Yeah, it's really his silver bullet right now, or the one thing that Demi really has going for him that is going to give MeomaikA quite a bit of pause. Another scout goes in and yeah, just confirms there's no other tech going on. And MeomaikA could be going into roaches.
Yeah, just drop that roach warren. The first one to drop some extra tech. Meo hasn't really put that Baneling nest to much else use other than defense.
Which is, yeah, I'm not sure how I really feel about this. I mean, Lingbane versus roaches. There's a timing for the Lingbane to have an advantage over the roaches, but there's also a timing for the roaches to get to. Or it's not so much of a timing, but more of a count, right?
Yeah, so we got the roach warren as well coming out here from Demi, so going into pretty kind of equal stuff here. Demi's going to have the upgrade advantage, it seems. But, yeah, man, no, he's not going for a third base. He's just going to, I think he's just going to make a ton of roaches and go for it.
Yeah, doing a little bit of Demi, if you want to call it that.
Oh no, he takes a third base. But he's still got such a sizable army coming across the map. He's going to have a Baneling nest here, so he's going to make a few Banes just to make any kind of Ling defense for Demi very, very hard.
Yeah, potentially also as a way to cancel out the Banelings. There's just so much more opportunity for the third player once you do have that Baneling nest out. And going for a bit of a multi-prong here. I liken it from MeomaikA, but we'll have to see how well he's able to calculate this. This is not the biggest army supply for our blue Zerg player, so he really has to split very efficiently.
This is still pretty nice for Meo, actually. He's going to just try and take a trade here, not try and lose everything, I assume, and then just kind of go home. Because behind this, he showed his army, he held it across the other side of the map, but he didn't really make much army behind all of that. He just made a ton of drones.
Alright, well, a bit of a show of force just to keep his opponent on the other side of the map, and we already see the advantage. MeomaikA is 10 drones ahead. And I was just going to be looking to push that advantage. Another run by, just for good measure. And Demi, I mean...
The big thing that he scouts there is that there's no drones on the third yet. He knows that those have been there for ages, but it hasn't been mining. It's only just gone to mine.
Now he knows that he's pretty ahead. He just has to focus on defense. He does not need to go across the map so much. And Demi, I don't want to say he's gone back to his defensive mode, but yeah, he's definitely playing it a little bit more passive, just using a couple of run-bys for defense. Oh, no.
This is a bad choice for Demi to try and pick the timing to make a ton of drones, because I think Meo, man, he's just going to have big roach speed timing here and just completely overwhelm Demi. He's doubled the army supply right now.
He is double the army supply. He is going to get in the Lyle much sooner. Demi, I mean, he had a spine crawler, right? No, that was MeomaikA I was thinking of. Now, luckily for Demi, MeomaikA is trying to clear these rocks, so there is a bit of time here that Demi can try to buy himself. And especially on Romanticide, making use of the ramps is absolutely key in the defense. See how well Demi can do.
Yeah, he's just going for the numbers game here, making sure he has more than his opponent. He has speed, so he can bust out of there if he really needs to and reinforce. And he's got so many roaches going across the map behind this. He's trading really nicely already, getting away from the massive roaches, trading off where he can against the little amounts. And then he's just going to have a big reinforcement coming up where Demi's army isn't.
Yeah, coming in with a flank right here, surrounding just about every roach. Demi forced to pull the boys. And this is not looking too good. I feel that MeomaikA has way too much momentum. This is final domino. GG is called. MeomaikA will be taking game number 1. It's best of 3. I don't really want to call it a decider, but we can't really call it the final either.
Nah, oh man, he's just so scary. But I feel like, yeah, he did the right things here and there, but I feel like he just was a little bit too scared of the aggression there from Mio. The big advantage where Mio took the time to get really far ahead was to just kind of show his army, show that he's going to be threatening, and then just make a nice, good economy behind it before forcing a bunch of earlier units before Demi can really drone up. And once MeomaikA had his ideal worker count, he held down that roach key, man, and Demi's like, alright, you've gone home, I'm going to drone. In reality, they were on equal working counts.
Yeah, I'm shaking my head a little here, just thinking back to that game.
Yeah, it's hard though for Demi to gauge that, right? Because like we have our god vision, so we can see the working count. We can see Demi has to rely on Lings getting in to see the drone count. Has to rely on overlords, so it's very tough to read what's going on behind an army.
Yeah, it very much is. I mean, I guess it is also hard, quite a bit harder for Zerg, because there aren't. How am I looking to word this? What I'm saying is Zerg doesn't have scan, essentially.
Yeah, there's no scan. There's no invisible scouting unit. It's hard to get fast flying units around the map as Zerg unless you really want to commit to Pneumatize carapace, but it's a cost of gas investment early on in ZvZ to get Pneumatize carapace, so it's rough. You have to rely on sneaking Lings in for your scouts.
We should get done a little bit here and there, but yeah, in the end it was a little bit too late. But anyway, that was last game. We are going into this game, starting off on Lightshade LE. And coming down here in the bottom right-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player coming down from the land of India. He is the winningest Grand Platypus Open champion ever, holding that record of 17 wins, and now looking to defend that title against his rival, the person who's trying to overtake him here. Representing Downfall Gaming, if I didn't mention that earlier on, it is the shark himself, Demi.
And in the top left, not planning on giving up the aggression anytime soon, MeomaikA really wants to get to this grand final as fast as possible. I kind of already introduced him there, but in the blue, from Vietnam, it is MeomaikA.
Yeah, sometimes you kind of catch yourself saying, "Oh, you're saying the name of the player you're meant to be introing." You're like, "Oh well, I gave it away. It was a spoiler. They didn't know who this player was. It was meant to be a grand reveal."
It's all right.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not a super aggressive pool. I think it was 15 or 16 pool, and then a fast expand behind it. So he's gonna. What is he gonna do with
a bit
this?
more of a? I would imagine a bit more of a defensive pool first coming up from MeomaikA. I guess I want to look. I've been trying to find conclusions from MeomaikA. I haven't quite figured it out, but I'm gonna say that for a map like Lightshade, MeomaikA just doesn't really want to get too aggressive because he knows that Demi will have the time to get his defenses up. So he's just going to get a little bit more defensive himself, get a couple of Lings out, and what have you. and from there just play out a little bit more reactive.
Yeah, at the moment, well, what has he made in terms of units? He hasn't made any lings as of yet, so this is strange for Mio. No lings as of yet, just making drones. So this is something that MeomaikA has done in the past too. Everyone knows he's so aggressive, but then he just sometimes just has a ton of drones early, and then he goes into a lot of units. But he's gonna set up 6 lings now and see we're gonna see what he's gonna do with those first.
Yeah, you could call it the duality of MeomaikA, as he does decide to go for the third base. Interestingly enough.
Oh, what is there a queen doing after it?
Yeah, I guess it was chasing back an overlord.
Demi was not expecting a ling to be. Demi was not expecting a queen to be there.
Yeah, I can't really blame him too much. Ooh, did Demi get to see that Roach-Ron? That is. Yeah, that is definitely a good question. Okay.
Yeah, the positioning of the building like that, so usually in ZvZ it's not going to be a baneling nest over there, so I'd say that's pretty safe to assume that's a roach warren there from Demi.
Yeah, so now he does know that.
Chamber. He might even think it's an Evo chamber, so that's
Yeah, that does definitely work out. I mean, now trying to go for the third base, but MeomaikA is making it a lot hard on him. Oh, just managed to throw it down right at the end.
Yeah, and all right, Demi's going for the Carapace opener.
So does that mean he knows that it's roaches? Because you get Carapace for lings that can survive more from
Carapace, yeah, it's usually nice for a heavy ling open, because if they do go for some quick roaches, you can survive. And then if you have a fast Carapace and then you get roaches out, you have roaches with Carapace already. Usually faster than a roach player would have their +1. So usually if the timing of when +1 comes out +1 missile comes out after the Carapace, you're gonna have the upgrade advantage over the other Zerg. But Mio, man, he's not. I don't think he's worried about that stage of the game, man. Kill him now. There's no big borrow.
He is even getting borrow. Yeah, you're right about that. He does not have a lair quite yet, but I imagine he'll be going into Tunneling Claws later on. Mio just going for it. You mentioned that the upgrade lead is going to favor Demi quite a bit, but sometimes sheer numbers of positioning, it matters a lot more than the upgrade count. This is TBT.
It is not for a thinking and build. It is time to defend.
It very much is. Ooh, getting those ravages right in, canceling it just to get more DPS. I really like the choke point being made by Demi, but it's not going to be enough. MeomaikA going to be taking that series. And there we go. MeomaikA's been on an absolute roll today, and he will be making it to the grand finals with a +1 advantage.
Yeah, and I think that's why we're talking about the he could have thought it was an Evo chamber. I think that's what he was reading there, unfortunately, and he definitely did not have anything good enough to respond to that attack. Like if he knew that was a roach warren that early from Mio, I think he would have had a lot better defense. I think he was reading an Evo chamber off that quick little building flash.
Yeah, so do I. It's unfortunate that you do have to click on that, and Demi just didn't have the opportunity to that game, so had to sort of piece together the information that he did have to try to get into a conclusion, and yeah, in the end it didn't quite work out for him. But Mio, man, he's got to be on cloud 9 right now.